Everyone thought Kim Kardashian was just another reality star. But while people were busy watching, she was busy building. Beauty, fashion, tech, even law, she turned her name into a business empire. Today, she's not just famous, she's one of the most powerful women in the game. This is how it all came together. Kim Kardashian didn't just become famous, she figured out how to turn that fame into a full-blown business strategy. Starting with Keeping Up with the Kardashians in 2007, she quickly became more than a reality TV fixture. While the show brought constant exposure, Kim used the platform to test what people would actually buy from her. From her mobile app Kimoji to sponsored posts and licensing deals, she experimented early and often. Most of it worked out, and even when it didn't, it kept her name in the mix. But it was the launch of KKW Beauty in 2017 that marked her shift from celebrity to serious business owner. Inspired by how Kylie had built her cosmetics line, Kim took her signature contouring style and turned it into a product line fans could actually buy. Within a few hours of launching, her initial drop sold out. Less than 3 years later, she sold 20% of KKW Beauty to Coty Inc. for $200 million. That deal valued the company at $1 billion, and more importantly, it gave her a seat at the corporate table while still allowing her to run the brand. In 2022, she rebranded her skincare line under the name SKKN by Kim. The product line, rooted in a 9-step routine, was shaped by her own longtime interest in skin health. While it's premium priced and more niche than her makeup line, it fits with her move toward more elevated branding. Then there's Skims. What started as a solution for better shapewear turned into one of the biggest fashion stories in recent years. The line expanded quickly, from seamless loungewear to men's basics, and racked up serious funding. By 2023, Skims was valued at over $4 billion, backed by investors like Jens Greed and Thrive Capital. Kim's role isn't just promotional, she's hands-on with product development, marketing, and branding. It's not a side hustle, it's a core part of her empire. She took public curiosity and turned it into customer loyalty. And while fame opened doors, it's clear she's been the one deciding which ones to walk through. Kim Kardashian's home isn't just where she lives, it's a full extension of her public image. Her $60 million estate in Hidden Hills is probably the most talked about celebrity house of the last decade, not because it's filled with wild luxury or gold-trimmed everything, but because of how strangely empty it feels. It was designed with the help of Axel Vervoort, a Belgian designer known for his minimalist, almost spiritual approach to interiors. Together, they created something that feels more like a high-end art gallery than a family home. The walls are blank, the furniture is sculptural, and the colors never stray far from beige or cream. Even the sinks became a viral moment. Flat slabs of stone that slope ever so slightly to let water drain, with no visible basin. It confused a lot of people, but Kim explained it on Instagram, casually showing how it worked, like it was just another Tuesday. That's the kind of detail you notice in her world. Things are custom built to the point where even a sink becomes a conversation. She's not just holding on to one big house either. Kim bought several neighboring properties in Hidden Hills to expand the estate. One of them was reportedly Kanye West's home after their split, which she bought for over $20 million. The goal seemed to be less about flipping homes and more about building a larger private compound. She has 4 kids, so privacy and space matter. And with Hidden Hills being one of the most exclusive gated communities in Los Angeles, it gives her the ability to live in near total seclusion when she wants it. Outside of LA, she also owns a vacation home in Palm Springs, specifically in the Medicine Club, a private ultra-luxury community that's also home to Kris Jenner and other celebs. It's the kind of place where the houses blend into the desert landscape and everything feels intentionally under the radar. Her real estate holdings go beyond just the homes she's known to live in. There are whispers of investment properties and undeveloped land she's bought quietly over the years. Nothing flashy, just smart, long-term moves in places where property values don't dip easily. But when she's not at home, Kim's often in the air, flying in style. Kim Kardashian doesn't just travel in style, she's built her travel into the way she markets, works, and lives. Her private jet, a customized Gulfstream G650ER named Kim Air, is reportedly worth around $150 million. It's not just a ride, it's an extension of her brand. Inside, the plane is fully personalized with cashmere seats, soft cream interiors, and sleek lighting. There is a private bedroom, a dining area, and finishes that mirror the muted, minimal aesthetic she's leaned into in recent years. The color palette matches her wardrobe, her homes, even her SKKN packaging. Everything is intentional. Kim doesn't just use the jet for vacations, although there are plenty of those. She's flown to Turks and Caicos for quiet family getaways, taken trips to Milan and Paris for fashion weeks, and jetted to Miami for short but strategic appearances. When she showed up to the Dolce & Gabbana show in Italy, it wasn't just about the runway, it was about reinforcing her role in the fashion world. And Kim Air got her there on her terms. The plane also plays a role in her business moves. For Kim's campaigns, she's used the jet as a set. Photo shoots staged on the tarmac or inside the cabin help sell not just the clothes, but a whole lifestyle. It's subtle but effective. You're not just buying a bodysuit, you're buying into the idea of being in control, of moving how and when you want. Still, the private jet comes with its share of criticism. Like others in the celebrity world, she's faced questions about carbon emissions and environmental impact, especially for short-haul trips. But so far, that hasn't dented her public image in any lasting way. Her fans don't seem to be following her for sustainability tips, they're watching for the look, the mood, the access, and the plane delivers all of that. To Kim, the jet isn't just transportation, it's another asset. One she uses to manage her schedule, amplify her image, and reinforce her role as not just a celebrity, but a brand that travels first class every time. Kim Kardashian's inner circle is a mix of blood ties, long-term loyalty, and calculated connection. Her family has always been at the center of her world, but it's also been the engine behind the empire. Kris Jenner isn't just her mother, she's been her manager since the beginning, handling the business side while Kim built the brand. The dynamic with her sisters, especially Khloe and Kourtney, is part sibling bond, part business partnership. They have launched products together, filmed countless hours of TV, and built separate companies that often overlap in audience and media coverage. Outside her family, Kim keeps a tight-knit group of friends who've been around for years. Lala Anthony has been close to her since the early 2000s. Tracy Romulus is more than a friend, she is the chief marketing officer of KKW Brands, and often serves as a quiet force behind Kim's media strategy. Then there's Jonathan Cheban, who legally changed his name to Food God. He has been part of her public life for so long that even people who have never watched the show recognize him from red carpet events or Instagram stories. These friendships aren't for show, they have lasted decades and helped Kim stay grounded while the rest of the world constantly shifts around her. Her relationship with Kanye West is in a category of its own. They were married for nearly 7 years and have 4 kids together: North, Saint, Chicago, and Song. During that time, they weren't just a couple, they were a brand. From Vogue covers to architectural design projects, everything they did as a pair carried massive media weight. After their divorce, they kept co-parenting in the spotlight, sometimes amicably, sometimes not, but always watched closely. Beyond her inner circle, Kim has become someone who moves comfortably among the biggest names in business and culture. She has attended dinner parties with Jeff Bezos, had conversations with Elon Musk, and been a fixture at exclusive events like the Met Gala and Vanity Fair Oscars party. These aren't just photo ops, they're opportunities that signal how far she's come from her early reality TV days. And when it comes to dressing the part, Kim has more than fashion sense. She sets the trends. Kim Kardashian doesn't just wear designer clothes, she's become a fixture in the fashion world itself. Over the years, she's moved from red carpets into front rows, campaign shoots, and collaborations with the same designers who once kept her at arm's length. Now brands like Balenciaga, Dolce & Gabbana, and Mugler not only dress her, they build custom looks around her. In 2021, her all-black face-covered Balenciaga outfit at the Met Gala sparked headlines and memes for days. It didn't matter that people couldn't see her face, everyone knew it was Kim. Her role in shaping trends goes beyond appearances. Through Skims, she has turned shapewear into something more visible and inclusive. The brand has been worn by celebrities like SZA and Rosalia, not just for photo shoots but in everyday settings. The idea that a compression bodysuit could be both comfortable and cool might have sounded off 10 years ago, but that's exactly the shift Kim helped create. She's also built a trusted inner circle of stylists and glam experts that help deliver consistency. Chris Appleton handles the hair, Mario Dedivanovic does the makeup. The looks are carefully planned and rarely feel like accidents. And when she walks into Fashion Week or a campaign set, it's not just about looking good, it's about reinforcing a brand. Every outfit, every Instagram story feeds back into the businesses she's built. Even her Fashion Week appearances are more strategic than they seem. When she partnered with Dolce & Gabbana in 2022 to curate a show in Milan, it wasn't just a runway moment, it was a clear signal that she's no longer just consuming fashion, she's shaping what people see, wear, and buy. Kim didn't come from a fashion school, she did an intern at a design house, but she figured out how to influence taste and move product, without needing to draw the sketch herself. In a world where visibility equals value, she's made herself impossible to ignore, and for the fashion world, that's worth more than a design degree. For someone whose public image was once built in selfies and red carpets, Kim Kardashian's shift into criminal justice work surprised a lot of people. But she didn't just sign a few petitions and pose for a cause, she actually started studying law. In California, there is a legal path that allows you to apprentice under licensed attorneys instead of attending a traditional law school. That's the route Kim took, working with a team of mentors while preparing for the baby bar exam, which she passed on her 4th try. It's not glamorous, but she never pretended it was. She talked openly about the stress, the studying, and the failures, which made the whole thing feel less like a PR move and more like a real effort. Her interest in criminal justice came into focus when she got involved in the case of Alice Johnson, a woman who had been serving a life sentence for a non-violent drug offense. Kim worked closely with attorney and activist Van Jones to bring attention to Alice's case. She even met with Donald Trump at the White House in 2018. A few days later, Trump granted clemency. That moment turned Kim into a central figure in conversations about prison reform, something no one expected from someone with a reality TV background. Since then, she's continued to support clemency cases, working behind the scenes with legal nonprofits and using her social media platforms to push for change. She doesn't always broadcast her efforts, but they've had real outcomes for real people. It's also changed the way some of her critics see her, at least the ones willing to admit it. Outside the legal space, she has used her Skims brand to push for broader representation. The Fits Everybody campaign featured models of all shapes, sizes, and skin tones, which isn't new in fashion, but Skims made it feel normal, not performative. It wasn't a stunt, it was just how the products were shown. People responded to that. The brand grew fast, and its success sent a message about what real inclusion can look like when it's built into the foundation, not just added for marketing. But none of this came without people questioning her, sometimes publicly, sometimes harshly. Kim Kardashian lives in a space few people ever experience. Constant public visibility where every move becomes a headline. That spotlight brings praise, but it also brings a steady stream of criticism. Her decision to study law drew backlash from some who said her path was easier because of her fame and resources. The fact that she's doing it through a legal apprenticeship rather than the traditional law school route only added fuel, with some calling it a shortcut, despite her efforts to pass the baby bar and speak on prison reform. The self-made billionaire label didn't sit well with everyone either. Critics pointed out that her rise was built on an already established family empire, and that her massive platform gave her a head start most entrepreneurs could never imagine. Then there are the photos, especially those that appear edited. Social media has called her out more than once for reshaping images or presenting unrealistic body standards. Add to that the 2020 birthday post when she flew friends to a private island mid-pandemic and framed it as a way to feel normal, and it's clear how quickly her post can miss the mark. Her divorce from Kanye West made things more complicated. The relationship had always been public, but once it ended, it turned into a media storm. Custody issues, mental health concerns, and legal filings all playing out online. Still, Kim never reacted impulsively. She stayed mostly quiet in public, let the court filings speak, and continued to shape her narrative through selective interviews and polished press appearances. No matter how loud the noise gets, she stays on message. Kim Kardashian doesn't just use social media, she runs it like a newsroom, a marketing agency, and a business hub all in one. As of 2025, she's crossed 360 million followers on Instagram alone. That kind of audience doesn't just make her popular, it gives her the power to control her own narrative. She doesn't need to go through a publicist to get a message out. If there's a story, she can post it herself. And if there's a product drop, she can announce it on her own terms and watch it sell out in minutes. Her reach goes well beyond Instagram. She uses Twitter, now known as X, to make short, direct statements. Threads has become a more casual outlet where she posts less polished thoughts, and her presence on TikTok isn't just for fun, she's aware of how fast trends move there, and she either gets ahead of them or uses them to shape what's coming next. When something controversial happens, whether it's a headline about her personal life or a business decision that sparks backlash, she doesn't usually wait for the media to weigh in, she'll address it herself, usually with a carefully worded Instagram story or a short clip that speaks directly to her followers. That direct line is part of why she's been able to stay relevant for so long. She doesn't let others speak for her unless she chooses to. Even product launches follow this formula, from SKKN to Skims. Most of her biggest rollouts were first teased through her social platforms. The styling, the mood, the messaging, it's all tested with her audience in real time. No magazine covers or big press releases are required. The followers get the first look, and the rest of the internet catches up later. So what does it really look like to live like Kim Kardashian? The fame, the fortune, the full package? Would you want to trade places with Kim Kardashian? Constant spotlight, billion-dollar decisions and all? Leave your thoughts in the comments.